I went to 2 different hospitals over the last 2 days, and I wanted to pass on my experience to whoever's watching. The first hospital I went to, I'm not going to name the hospital names. You know, the first one I went to, though, was a very large hospital. When you first walked through the doors, they had a station there with a nurse. As you walked in, mandatory temperature checks, mandatory masks were handed out if you weren't, you know, if you didn't have one, and then they would tell you where you can go from there. And right across from the cafe, I saw this lady. She was sitting there eating, pulling the mask down, take a bite, lift it up. It was absolutely ridiculous. These people were like Nazis in this damn hospital. And then I went all the way up, got done with my appointment because, trust me, if I didn't have to go, I wouldn't have. But then when I got done with the appointment, I was walking out, popped the mask up, and the lady gave me a hard time that I took it off too soon. I said, "Do you have a biohazard container for this?" No. I'm like, "Well, if it's so dangerous, then what do we do with these? Do we just throw these away?" "Oh, well, yeah, you know." So you see her attitude shift real quick, and she was like, "This guy, we're not gonna mess with him. Just let him get out the door." The next day, I went to a hospital, local. It's a smaller hospital, and masks were optional. When I walked in, half the lobby, better than half of the lobby, didn't have any masks on. There was a couple people that did, and all the staff did, but we just walked in. I sat down, you know, after I checked in without a mask. They didn't give me a hard time. I sat down. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody was even looking at me weird, you know, not even the people with the masks. They weren't even giving me a hard time. Then the nurse called me into the back room. I walked up, no mask. And she just was like, "How are you doing today?" Walked me to the room. As I was walking down the hallway, I passed the hospital administrator, and she just went like that. And I could see her eyes wince a little bit like that. So I'm imagining she was probably smiling under that mask because I couldn't tell if she was happy or not. But she went like that. So I'm imagining she was smiling. She didn't say anything to me. She didn't give me a hard time. This is the first time in 2 years that I walked into a hospital and I actually felt like I was around educated people. They know that this is nonsense, and they don't give people a hard time. And I just wanted to pass that on. If you're in the hospital field, I'd love to see this spread. But it was a good time at that one hospital, and I hope you guys see this and you take it and run with it. Take care.